Elana Freeland's book, Under an Ionized Sky, From Chemtrails to Space Fence Lockdown, delves into the truth behind technologies used by the globalist elite to keep the people under control. You may have seen these technologies being used in recent instances, but Freeland reveals the role they play in some notable events. Her book dives deep into the mysteries of our world and uncovers the truths that often go unnoticed. It will challenge your perceptions and open your eyes to a reality that is both fascinating and, quite frankly, terrifying. Freeland repeatedly touches on the manipulation of weather and the atmosphere, something she tackles in her other book, Chemtrails, HAARP, and the full-spectrum dominance of planet Earth. The use of chemtrails, ionospheric heaters, and other technologies to control the climate and the environment is well documented. The normalization of geoengineering is a concerning trend. While the idea that we are deliberately altering the atmosphere to combat so-called climate change is being sold to the public, the reality is far more complex. She highlights the military's role in weather engineering, pointing out that the military-industrial intelligence complex is using these technologies for their own purposes, often at the expense of public health and environmental stability. But the use of these technologies doesn't end at weather manipulation. Freeland notes that similar technologies were used during the September 11, 2001 attack that destroyed the World Trade Center in New York City. She presents evidence that directed energy weapons, DEWs, were used that day. These are not your typical weapons. They are sophisticated devices capable of producing devastating effects. The destruction of the Twin Towers was a blatant demonstration of their power. The buildings disintegrated in a way that defies the conventional explanation of fire and structural failure. Freeland also cites the works of other authors, like Dr. Judy Wood, whose book, Where Did the Towers Go?, examines the disintegration of the Twin Towers. She discounts conventional explanations like kerosene-fueled fires, thermite, and mini-nukes. Instead, Wood proposes the Hutchison effect, which involves interfering microwave energies in an electrostatic field. This could explain the molecular dissociation of the towers, the cars on fire, but not the adjacent trees, and the papers found miles away. Photographer David Hanshu, who Freeland also mentions in her book, meanwhile described a high-pressure gas line sound and a huge volume of black smoke. These are not the characteristics of a typical building collapse. The presence of barium and quartz in the debris, the St. Elmo's fire flames, and the description of black clouds with substance all point to a highly charged atmosphere. The involvement of entities like Raytheon, with its HAARP patents and connections to the hijackers, further complicates the narrative. The U.S. Navy's takeover of Brookhaven National Laboratory after 9/11 and the subsequent ramping up of its nanotechnology department suggest a deeper level of involvement. Freeland also notes other examples of such technologies being weaponized, one instance being the crash of TWA Flight 800 in 1996. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, documented witnesses who saw something resembling a flare or firework ascend and culminate in an explosion. This is eerily similar to the events of 9/11, where the initial hours after the crash were carefully controlled. Later that year, American Airlines bought out TWA, and the narrative was quickly buried. Then there's the case of Senator Paul Wellstone, a vocal critic of the war on drugs and the impending war on terror. His plane crash in 2002, which killed him and his wife, is shrouded in controversy. While the NTSB report is disputed, with allegations of an official cover-up, the book American Assassination by Don Jacobs and James Fetzer suggests that the plane was shot down with a directed energy weapon. The Space Shuttle Columbia, STS-107, exploded over Texas in 2003. An amateur astronomer captured a photograph of a purplish electrical bolt striking the craft. This is consistent with the use of DEWs, which can produce electromagnetic disturbances. Ultimately, the implications of these technologies are profound. They affect not only our physical environment, but also our mental and emotional states. The use of electromagnetic frequencies to influence human behavior. Another striking example is a reality that we must confront. As we continue to uncover the truth, it's crucial that we remain vigilant and informed. The future of our planet and our species depends on our ability to understand and resist the forces that seek to control us. This has been a BrightLearn video from BrightLearn.ai on the book Under an Ionized Sky, From Chemtrails to Space Fence Lockdown by Elana Freeland. Visit BrightLearn.ai for more fascinating videos like this one, and visit naturalnews.com for full editorial coverage and breaking news on critical stories that keep you informed and aware of what's really going on.